I have never advocated for lottery in my whole life. Actually, I don't even like it. But I have lottery, kamare, such things. But I have only done it a few occasions, which I'll tell you. Whenever I was in Kiganjo and training, and the training fell in December, there used to be a lottery for Kiganjo staff nursery school. What used to happen is that business people or prominent people in Kiganjo town used to offer some presents, and then we could have lottery, which all the money used to go to the development of Kiganjo College Nursery School. I supported that because that was a school for our colleagues. So that one I used to support, and in case it is going there, maybe nowadays it's primary school, I would say that one I used to support. The other lottery that I used to support was whenever we had Commonwealth Games or Olympics, we used to have a lottery, and I used to participate in it because I believed that lottery was for the good of our country. Those are the few lotteries that I've always supported, but I've never supported the lottery. There is another kamare we played, and somewhere on Ronald Ngala Street, there's a place, while we were students at GSU Training School, you know, being in the forest at Magadi, we never shaved. So we used to organize. There was some people there who used to play the cards. So we had Ole Shoomo, yeah, I think he was called Ole Shoomo, who was one of us, but he had the Kalenjin Masai ear piece. So we used to organize with him, and we could go and he would play. So we could say, hey, siku hizi watu ya karata wameungana na Wamaasai ndio tudanganywe. But people would not know that Ole Shoomo was one of us. So what we discovered is that the people who are playing karata were eka pesa hapa, hapo utapoteza, hapo utapoteza. Usually they studied you. They studied you, and they'll make you win money several times. After winning money several times, they would reach a place and you start losing track, and they'll make sure that you'll not live with any money you came with. So we used to send Le Shoomo because we knew that he looked like a typical Maasai, and we could count the number of people who are doing that. Let's say there are 3 or 4, and we could come up with double the number. So Le Shoomo would continue winning, but we would identify their people, and each one would have 2 people surrounding him. Then at the last moment, Ole Shoomo and all of us would produce our police identifications and arrest these people. And we would place them in a side street and loot all their money. That is that, but I've always not liked that. As I was growing up, there used to be only one company called Kenya Charity Sweepstake, which used to offer lottery. But Kenya being corrupt as it is, there is an MP for somewhere northern part of Nairobi who started his own company and bribed people in the city council, city hall, in that one night you find that Kenya Charity Sweepstake, all the kiosks were demolished and burned and whatever, so as to give him an opportunity to do that. As I was growing up, both of my parents never talked about lottery, and although they are no longer alive, but I believe that if they were to be asked, they would not have supported lottery. But there is a very close family member whom I even spent the last night in his home in his house before going to Kiganjo. This old man, Zaccheus Shibona Nakuku, was very much into Kenya Charity Sweepstake, and his formula was this week so and so. He sends one boy, another week he sends another one, that way, and he used to tell us, for example, if it was my turn, he would say, don't take the first card, just count 7, and then next week it will be somebody else, count 9, or that is how he used to do. I don't remember him winning any, but there's no week that he never participated in that. Those days we did not have, nowadays we have, they say strictly for over 18 and above. Those days we didn't have that. It used to happen that you just pay the 20 shillings and you're given a card. Now 20 shillings then is not 20 shillings today. If I remember very well, those days in the 70s, most of the people who were addicted to betting were, under my estimate, is between 35 years to 50 years. But today, my estimate is between 18 and 30. That is where you get people who are addicted to it. But when you ask those people who are addicted to it, including my own brother, same father, same mother, you would see somebody has been doing lottery for so many years. You don't even see a radio that he has bought using that. But when you ask, he'll say, he's so much positive. And I think I would say that it is just on the same league with cigarette smoking, where people just smoke and you don't even see the benefits. Now, I want to do my own private estimate. For example, a lottery, 3 million shillings is collected in one place. And when the 3 million shillings is collected in one piece, you find that 1 million goes to the overall winner. Another 500,000 is shared among other people. And the company or the person running the lottery gets 1.5 million. So in reality, the house does not lose. The house does not lose. I also am aware of something that Mushamba is connected to. Mushamba is a personal friend of mine for over 20 years. He has assisted me more than I have assisted him. Actually, there's even a time Mushamba saw that I was good in comedy, and he tried to make me join the comedy in NTV, but I could not make it because my jokes level were not of the standard. But my brother-in-law, who followed my wife, had died, and I took a night bus to the funeral, and I was seated next to a young man who was excited talking to various people, and he was receiving a lot of phones on the way. Then I concluded something and I asked him what had happened. This is what he told me, that he's from Mumias, and being from Mumias, he had been participating in lottery, and then on one time he got a telephone call telling him that he had won 1 million shillings. When he had won 1 million shillings, he was called to Nairobi to take it, and then he was handed over a dummy check of 1 million shillings, and it was photographed and whatever. Then he was told to go home to Mumias and wait for his money. Then he was called the second time, which was now this time, and he was told that there was a mistake, that there was a technical mistake, and they have discovered that, and so he had wrongly been implicated that he had won 1 million shillings. So they were offering to give him 10% of that, that is 100K, so that instead of, then they can retain 900. What I'm trying to say here is that what they do is that they, let's say in a year, January, they call somebody, okay, let's to call that person Mr. January. So they call Mr. January in January, they give him a damn check of 1 million, and then they do that. Then in February, you see they have retained 900. Then in February, they add just 100. So each month they are giving out 100, but giving people the impression that it is a million shillings. Another issue that now this one came from Meru. It used to happen around Kencom House. Around Kencom House, on a Sunday you could meet somebody who looked and had a heavy Meru accent. He would say that he is coming from those Meru towns, and there's a house along Mama Ngina Street where he's supposed to go and claim his present. And you'd look at him, he would look very, can I say, stupid person. He would look so humble and whatever. And you'd just look at his Kenya Charity card, and then when you look at the Kenya Charity card, you'll see that, and he's carrying a newspaper. So you'll see that he has won 1 million shillings, but he's only talking that if you have 20,000, you could give me, and then tomorrow you claim the money. Now you look around and see the people around, and you look at this fellow, you see he's a stupid fellow. You give him the 20,000 and retain the paper and the newspaper. The following day, which is on a Monday, you enter that house. You go to the floor that was said, and when the people look at that, the first thing they tell you, did you meet a person with a heavy Meru accent? Now you have lost 20,000 shillings. That is what I was taught in CID training school, that conmen do happen that way. The conman gives you confidence, and he has confidence, and he looks stupid. So you look at this fellow, you start imagining that this fellow does not know that he has won 1 million shillings. If I give him 20,000, I'll get 1 million. You give him and go that. That brings me to another point. I don't know why crooks use the same system. Like we are now about to close schools. Now you'll get a lot of messages. Oh, mami, nimepoteza, tunaenda kufunga shule na sijui nini, tumia mwalimu. And they use the same trick even after it is being discovered. They still do that. And those are the committee people. I don't know why committee people, they are so committed. Like me now, if I'm sick for 2 weeks, my family will have to know how to mind their own until I've recovered. But committee people who do these telephone things are people who have been jailed for 10, 15 years. But they are so much committed to their family that they con you out there. When they con you out there, you send them money and they send their families immediately. So I would advise my viewer to keep away from lottery unless it is for a charitable organization.